Hello and welcome to another update video about GALA. GALA has recovered a little bit since yesterday's very strong drop. Thanks for some of you who confirmed that it was related to some kind of security concern, potential hack that they tried to solve and maybe already got sorted. But the problem is that the chart, the potential, and this is a technical analysis channel, the chart potential was basically damaged with yesterday's drop. Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do fundamentally with the project, but the chart potential was damaged. We can draw even a trend line to the downside, and we can see that we follow through on the downtrend. The good thing is that you potentially could interpret this as some kind of a ascending wedge, which is then, let's call it a bullish reversal pattern. But the point is we are still in the pattern, and as long as we haven't broken out yet, we are following it, and are basically in this downtrend, which, and that is what a descending wedge is showing, is actually slowing down. So as you can see, we briefly dropped out of this trend line to the downside yesterday. It's good that we recovered, at least, because if you drop out of a descending wedge to the downside, it would be a very bearish signal. And the problem that we have is there isn't really any support left down there. I mean, you could argue that that was very much the beginning here at around 2 cents could act of some kind of support here. That's basically the Binance chart here, but it just, you know, it's just a little bit problematic if you don't have any historical support, because all the crypto coins, they are very young, you know, and the chart history is very young. And if you drop below previous support, you're even limited with the tools that you have from a TA point of view, because, you know, you need historical support and resistance, and if you don't have that and the chart gets basically in a lifetime downtrend, then you are a little bit in trouble. But at the moment, GALA has recovered a little bit, but it's not yet enough to be confident that this goes back into an uptrend. Yeah, recovery, always possible, but is it sustainable? And that is sort of the question. Let's take a look here at the MACD. This is the MACD on the 4-hour chart. You can see we are at least reducing negative momentum. And on the RSI, we were in the oversold range. I mean, it's quite logical that you expect some kind of a bounce from there when you are in the oversold range. Here on the 4-hour, in the daily, you weren't even in the oversold range. That was the case down here on the 19th of October. So we came down quite strongly and bounced a little bit. The good thing is here, the good thing with this movement is that we have a bullish divergence. You can actually see it on the daily. Yeah, we made a lower low on the price chart, but we made a higher low on the RSI on the daily. That is actually, well, it's not necessarily a bullish signal, but it is, well, it is and it isn't. It is to a degree that you say, okay, the downtrend is slowing down. That's pretty much the same thing that the descending wedge is telling us. Whenever you see a coin is in a descending wedge, you can actually argue that there will be, and there probably is, a bullish divergence without even looking. Yeah. So this is the case on the daily. That is sort of the good sign, but I just have to say, you know, as long as we are in this descending wedge, as long as we're in this pattern, we're probably going to follow it. A really good sign would be obviously a break out of the pattern. The advantage of the latest spike that we had here is that we now have a fairly well-defined descending wedge. I mean, it's always a bit subjective how you draw these, right? But you have a fairly well-defined descending wedge, and a breakout of some sorts would indicate upside movement. We've now obviously hit support of the descending wedge. Could expect a reversal here, but this is nothing more than speculative at the moment. Nothing more, because we haven't even got a signal yet, other than that we hit support. And the move at the moment to the upside hasn't even been able to break above the previous low here. Yeah, it needs to do that for a first signal that things might be changing and turning around. And then next resistance will be this high here, the previous swing high at 4 cents, before we then move higher and will break eventually, and will have to break above this descending wedge breakout trend line. Plus the high needs to be taken out at 4.9 cents. As long as these things are not done, we can't really confirm that a bottom was in place. Especially with the latest drop, we actually have to reset the wave count. So we have to say that the correction, yes, it might have been finished here, but again, there is no reversal signal yet. What would need to happen to call that out? We would need to see 5 waves to the upside, so something like this, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this would be a wave 1 to the upside. You always want to see 5 waves to the upside. We might have one complete now, but it's way too early. And then we want to see an ABC down, and this is sort of then a possible entry point. Yeah, basically a higher low. This is also what we wanted to see here. Yeah, but I told you yesterday, all we had here, and just go and take a look at the previous video. All we had here, we only had 3 waves. We never got the wave 4. Well, we did, but we failed, and we never got the wave 5. And my argument would be, with this hack or whatever it was, and again, this is not a fundamental channel, but what you would often see from experience, when you get 5 waves up and then something like that happens, the consequence chart-wise wouldn't be that strong. But the fact that we only had 3 waves up and then you had that fundamental occurrence means the chart was already set up for coming down, and you have then a much more severe outcome, which also indicates why we came down so strongly yesterday. Yeah. So had we had 5 waves up, meaning this could have been an impulse, and then we might have only had 3 waves down, right? So it would have increased the probability that this would of a less strong downturn, right? So yeah, this is what we're looking at. At the moment, for me, it's just sort of watching it, right? I mean, if you believe fundamentally in GALA, you'll probably be dollar cost averaging all the time. It's up to you. But what we're doing here, we try to identify potential in charts. And of course, we've identified a descending wedge. We've identified we are really hit critical support now, but we really haven't got a reliable reversal signal yet. But I keep you updated about GALA. I think this chart has potential. The project has potential. It's extremely interesting. Don't get me wrong. But, I need some evidence that to call out a bottom or something. Okay, that's my update about GALA. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.